Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today I am playing a life gain deck, but not your typical life gain in standard. We are spicing it up with a few new cards. And the reason I'm playing this one today is because a viewer of the channel watched one of my pre-rotation videos. It was a video featuring the Bloodthirty Conqueror, a combo between this and the Starscape Cleric or the Enduring Tenacity. And well, they asked me, hey, can you update this video now that things have rotated a little bit? And I said, sure, I'll see what I can do. Now, I've actually spent about the last week playing around with this card, trying to make it work in standard, and it's gone through a ton of different iterations. And I'm kind of just here right now sticking it into life gain to see how well it's going to work. So if you don't know what the Bloodthirty Conqueror is, it says whenever opponent loses life, you gain that much life. So that's kind of cool. You attack your opponent and we heal ourselves as a way of gaining more life. However, if you mix that with the Starscape Cleric, this one says this creature can't block, whatever. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses one life. So this is an infinite loop between these two cards. You have the Starscape on the field, you throw out the Bloodthirty Conqueror, you deal some damage to the opponent, or you gain some life, and it starts a chain reaction between these two cards. You gain a life, you deal a damage to the opponent, then it gains a life, and then you deal another damage to the opponent, and so forth. We also have a backup card in the Enduring Tenacity, which serves as another copy of Starscape Cleric, because it does exactly the same thing. It says whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So again, we gain the life, the opponent gets pinged, we gain life, the opponent gets pinged, and it repeats until they're dead. Now, I've tried going all in with this combo, playing a ton of removal to support this, and it kind of worked. There were some fun things. Maybe I'll pop up a few videos of seeing the combo going off, but it wasn't very reliable. So I decided, you know what, let's lean all the way into a normal life gain shell. You know, you have your cards like Essence Channel or Ajani's Pridemate alongside your Healer's Hawk, Hinterland Sanctifier, Leon Vanguard, all cards that are going to gain you life. So we are going to be gaining a whole bunch of, incremental life, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. If we have something like a Starscape on the field or an Enduring Curiosity, we're going to be doing a lot of damage to the opponent just incidentally. And if we get to pull off the combo with the Conqueror, we get to pull off the combo. So we're going to hop into some games, see how it plays out, and, well, just hope that this is the right shell for the Bloodthirty Conqueror combo. See you over there. All right, here we go with the Bloodthirty Conqueror, seeing if it actually makes a life gain deck better or actually just completely dumps on it and makes it much, much worse. We're going to find out. Anyways, if you can continue to help the channel grow, do subscribe up. I appreciate that. And more importantly, do leave a comment down below. Comments have been a little bit slow lately, so any little comment would be great. Appreciate that. Let's start just with the case of the Uneaten Feast, and the opponent is on a VV deck, so not a good way to start things off, but it is what it is. We're going to have to suffer through it. Maybe this Shelter by Ghost will end up saving our tail. It's the absolute best card in the deck by a long shot. They just had a Quantum Riddler to draw a card, so 2 mana, draw a card. Not a great turn for the opponent. So we have to be careful with these Bleachbone Verges because they do not produce white mana yet. And I think we want to go... I mean, we have two... No. We don't really have choices. We're going out Healer's Hawk plus Leon and Vanguard. We're going to gain a couple of life. And then maybe on the following turn we go out with the Halia plus the Shelter by Ghost. We'll see what they end up putting into play, what I have to remove. If they end up having... everybody's favorite stuff, VV and or a Cauldron, maybe I'm going to have to rip off the Shelter by Ghost just to deal with that. Okay, they do have the VV, but they are currently without a Agathas. So maybe we'll be okay. Let's throw this onto the Healer's Hawk. I think it's probably better to do that way. So we eat up the VV. If they end up having a shock, they have a shock. What can you really do about it? They get the VV back, but it's at least slowing them down a little bit. And then we still have a follow-up Sheltered by Ghosts, so we'll see. Hey, we get our Cleric. So next turn, Maybe we go just with the Halia again. The Halia will draw, if we can get in with the Healer's Hawk, is going to draw us another card. And then maybe we can build up to an Offspringed Cleric and then really start doing a lot of little ping damage to the opponent. Okay, they have the Into the Flood Moss, so they did have a way of dealing with our Healer's Hawk. Very unfortunate, but I guess you kind of expect that. Do I prefer the Healer's Hawk bouncing or dying? I think that was probably the better path for us in the end. But it makes next turn a little bit more awkward. So I think I still need to get rid of the VV. You can't really leave that on the field, can you? And we grab a starting town. So what I can do is Healer's Hawk, Sheltered by Ghost, get in for a little bit of damage, put up the starting town. Yeah, it's probably what I have to do. Let's do the Vanguard. That way, if they need to get rid of it, it's a card. At least they're getting rid of the ground creature. And I can't get in for damage. I forgot that it doesn't give +1/+1. It's +1/+0. My mind was thinking that I could attack in over the Marauding Mako, but that was never going to happen. But next turn, it will get a little bit bigger with the +1/+1 from growing if we put out the double clerics here. And then maybe we can see about getting some extra little ping damage in. I could also go Halia with the cleric, I suppose. Okay, the opponent has a Ral, Crackling Wit. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a loyalty counter on Ral. Otherwise, create some otters. So how bad is that for us? Do we have to get rid of it? My cards are sticking again. Wait, they pass the turn. We draw trash. Seems to be the way it goes. So because we drew trash, man, I really want to put out the double clerics. But that doesn't allow me to get rid of this card. But I'm never going to get rid of it anyway. So let's just do the double clerics here. This is going to do, a good amount of damage to the opponent. And we can get in with the Healer's Hawk for a little bit more. So 2 more damage coming in here, and then 2 more damage coming in from the Healer's Hawk. I think I just go face at this point, because we're on the plan of... I guess I could have sacrificed this to go and get the Sheltered by Ghost. Maybe that'll be a future turn thing. We're on the plan of putting out creatures with the Halia and hopefully draining them down. Okay, Marauding Mako we don't care about. They're going to have to deal with these 2 clerics. If they can't get these off the field, then, they're going to be in big trouble. They could spend a lot of their turn getting rid of the Vanguard. I'm sure they might have a bounce spell or a Torch the Tower, something like that, but that's going to use all of their mana. The Ral, they could draw and discard. Draw 3, discard 2. Going to make these Makos nice and big. But they don't fly. Okay, they opt to go for a second Otter. But they still have 3 mana available to them. A little bit terrifying. I would prefer... Well, it doesn't matter what they do. I suppose if they kill it, we can always bring it back with the Uneaten Feast. Bouncing it is perfectly fine. So I'm actually okay with all of this. I think we probably kill them next turn. Oh, certainly we kill them, right? They don't have anything in the air. They're out of mana. They have 1 card in hand. Are we going to take down VV? I think I'm taking down VV. It's always nice to open up a video with a win over the big bad, especially with some kind of weird brew that's probably not as effective as I had hoped it would be, even with a dead draw in the form of a Plains. Do we even need to go to combat? I don't think so. I think we just ping them down. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, this is another 4 damage. Not very exciting, but hey, it gets us there. That's what we want to see from the clerics. I believe in these little bats. Alright, surely if this deck can beat a VV that... They had a turn 3 VV. Maybe this deck is... there's something to it. We can actually make... we can have some success with this deck. We hope. There's no way I draw a whole bunch of starting lands. It's fine. I'll save a little bit of life. Go out with the Healer's Hawk. And we have an Ajani's Pridemate to follow it up. Deck's only playing 2 Pridemates. instead of the usual 4 that you might see from a deck like this. They really? All right. So do you go Essence Channeler or do you go Ajani's Pridemate? I don't know, actually. Let's go Channeler. At least if we end up making the Channeler a little bit big and they have a Torch the Tower. No, Torch the Tower is not going to work because Torch the Tower exiles. They would have to have Burst Lightning, maybe they play, but I think their removal is going to be, of course, Into the Floodmaw and Sheltered by Ghost. Yikes. Okay, so now we need Runner, Runner, Land, Land. Hey, there's the first one. So we can go Halia into Pridemate. I don't hate that because I need to draw as many cards as I possibly can. This is going to get me exactly 1 extra draw, and we're going to grow our Pridemate ever so slightly. And then next turn, if we can find a land within these 2 next draws, okay, there. So we can Shelter by Ghost to get the Marauding Mako off the field, grab our Essence Channeler back, and then really go to town on them. This is probably not VB. I thought it was going to be a return, but this is probably a Madness deck? I don't know. That's a sus attack, so we're not going to block. It looks like they maybe have a Lightning Strike. Please play something out. I want them to use their mana. I'm not brave enough. I'm not brave enough most of the time to just go ahead and flop down the Shelter by Ghost when they have open mana. So now I have the option of going out with the Halia or with the Essence Channeler. I think I'm going to go with the Halia just to draw a few more cards. This is going to gain us a good amount of life. There, okay, they did have a Lightning Helix. So kind of called it right on that one. But we still gain. And now we get to attack in for 7 damage. That sets us up next turn to go Shelter by Ghost or Essence Channeler. Maybe both. We'll see. Maybe we can put them in a position where they have to block with the Mako. And if they're playing... Well, they need another Shelter by Ghost to get rid of this Ajani's Pridemate. If they're playing Lightning Helixes and Lightning Strikes and that, they're going to have a really hard time dealing with 7 toughness, right? So instead, they just attack. Well, okay. We do the fun, not the fun thing, the easy thing. Is this deck just a Lifegain deck though? Like I wanted it to have a little bit of a more unique identity, something a little bit different from your typical Lifegain deck. So you put in the Starscape Clerics, you put in the Bloodthirty Conqueror, but now it's just kind of looking like Lifegain, isn't it? I guess that's the draw this game. We're not seeing any of our black cards. Okay, Skittering Kitten gets to discard a Helping Hand. What is the opponent up to over there? What card do you imagine they're trying to bring back with that Helping Hand? That is very interesting. Next turn, our Essence Channelers can definitely get into the sky. Ooh, Tursa. Okay, they discard a FOMO and a Helping Hand. They have 1 mana available to them, but their Marauding Makos are getting bigger. The Healer's Hawk gives me pause because, so let's say I put out the Healer's Hawk, that's going to grow everything a little bit more. We can put this out, take out this one, and then I think they're kind of stuck blocking, so I don't have to use the extra mana for the Marauding Mako's Ward, and they're just going to be in a spot where they have to throw it away. Yeah. Looks good to me. I suppose their play is the 5/4 onto the 7/5, and then the 3/3 onto the 11/11. They take 6 damage, but they're going to lose both creatures. Oh, wow! They conceded so hard that it messed up the server. All right, okay, 2-0, taken down. I don't know, pretty neat. Maybe it was like a monument type deck, I guess. One quick thing that I want to ask you to comment on: if you watched my last 2 videos, what were they about? I can't remember. Anyways, the videos that I put out earlier this week, my previous 2 videos, I actually tried changing the audio ever so slightly. So if you could give me a little bit of feedback, I'd love to know if you notice a difference between the audio from last week's videos versus this week's videos. I think it sounds a little bit nicer. Take down old Mikey Chen. Whatever. I said the thing about my audio thing. That's all that matters. What do you suppose that last thing was all about? Why? What would cause somebody to instantly concede? I don't think I saw them draw any cards or like mulligan any cards away. So I don't know. Maybe they had a bad draw, but usually you would take at least one mulligan. Surely seeing Halia as an avatar is not tilting, right? Ooh, okay. Well, let's start growing, making the Essence channel a little bit bigger. We can't get in with the Sanctifier. There's no point to doing that. But we just move on. I love this card back. It's one of my favorites. They have the Shelter by Ghosts. We always have the Shelter by Ghosts. Hey, we got some Jurassic Park lands as well. That's cool. So it is what it is. We do hit that. That's pretty good. So if I put this out, this is going to draw me a card and make my Ajani's Pridemate ever so slightly bigger. And then it'll give me a better chance at finding a turn 4 land for the Shelter by Ghost so we can get rid of this Novice Inspector and attack in. You know what? I should be pointing out another thing. I always forget this, and I think it was BO Best of 3 Chad that pointed it out. I can Shelter by Ghost there, Sheltered by Ghost. I don't need to only hit the creature, of course. It always feels good to hit the creature, but it's not necessary. Now, the thing about this is that Cosmoground Zenith is actually probably more threatening than getting back my Essence Channeler. So I think I'm going this way. I think I'm going to put out the Vanguard, gain a lot of life, and swing in with the Pridemate to gain even more life. So they essentially need another Shelter by Ghost, which very well could have it. But well, and again, they could take the Shelter by Ghost. They don't necessarily need to take the Ajani's Pridemate. They could get around the ward. So always something to remember. You don't need to hit the creature that has the ward. You can go around it and hit the enchantment. It's something that I always forget about. No block. Easiest no block of my life. I wanted to put out the Healer's Hawk, or sorry, the Linden, but do I put out the Linden? I could also put out the Halia and draw a card. I mean, there's so many options here. I actually don't hate that. Yeah, let's draw a card. Okay. Make our Pridemate bigger, so even if they do end up removing it, we'll be in a pretty good spot life-wise that we can probably just get back into it by gaining or drawing a bunch of cards and then building a board once again. We do have a Shelter by Ghost, so if their removal is in the form of a Shelter by Ghost, then we can at least get it back. But things are looking okay. They're digging, trying to find... Ooh, Duskrose Reliquary does get rid of our Ajani's Pridemate. Okay. So I could block the Hinterland Sanctifier and the Halia. They would trade just one of them. They get rid of the Halia. That's not terrible. This, they have to sacrifice an artifact or a creature, so they can sacrifice these. It's not such a big deal. They're going to be getting their Cosmogrand Zenith back next turn. Oh man, I don't know. Okay, a little bit of a sticky situation knowing that they have the removal on deck right there. Let's just play it out nice and safe. We'll draw an extra card with the Halia. They're definitely going to go after the Ajani's Pridemate next turn. And then we'll try to answer that afterwards. And hopefully we get enough cards that we'll be in a spot where we can just deal with the Duskrose. Okay, so we're up plenty of life, 65 life. Drawing a card, 24 out of over 3. So we gained, yeah, 24. Let's just do 24 life turn there, then not a big deal. Okay, our poor little fella's gone. They pay the 2. and they get their Cosmic Grand Zenith back. I'm actually very afraid of the Cosmic Grand Zenith. I'm very glad they didn't have a follow-up spell, because I don't want them going wide on us. There is the Sentinel. So again, of course, we just take it. We don't care. And yep, the position not great. So we get rid of either the Cosmic Grand or we get rid of the Novice Inspector, get our Essence Channeler back. I don't hate it. And then we can start growing another big thing. So where do I want to put that? Probably on my Healer's Hawk. What do you think? Should I have grabbed the Cosmic Grand Zenith or gone the way that I've gone? This puts them in a spot where they have to find removal. Now, I could put out the Starting Town, or I could put out the Healer's Hawk with the Plains. The Starting Town sets me up to be able to start pinging myself for damage next turn, so then I can get in with the Essence Channeler. And I think that's probably better. Let's do it that way. Because then that might just represent killing them on the following turn if they aren't able to answer the Essence Channeler this turn. Because once we attack in with all of these creatures, Linden's going to trigger. She's going to be putting a ton of +1/+1 counters on the Essence Channeler. And yeah, they're pretty much in a position where they have to deal with it this turn. The Llanowar Elf's not good enough. Cool. Again, not seeing any of our black cards, but we are on a little bit of a tear. So 4-0. Cool, cool, cool. Gotta see some of these cards again. The black cards, the Starscape and of course, the Conqueror. Oh my god, I forgot that the Enduring Tenacity was even in the deck. All right, so we did get one, and we have a Verge that we can actually use to turn it on. So that's some good news. Let's just lead out with, of course, the Sanctifier. Not a whole lot we can do. I guess we needed Verge plus Starting Town. We do need 2 mana for the Enduring Tenacity. Something of note. Ooh, they are ramping. And because they are ramping, is it fine to go with the Summon Fenrir here? Or do we just take the Llanowar Elf? I mean, I think this puts us in like a weird position where they can get back that Fenrir. And I don't really like that, but we'll see. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Now I'm wondering if a gold... Oh my god, they had 5 mana available to them to be able to do this? That's insane. I guess, yeah, there you go. We threw it away. Lord of the Pit up to a very cozy 6 mana over on their side of the field. Ouch. What was I going to say? I wonder if a Golgari Shell with the Bloodthirty Conqueror could be cool, with the Llanowar Elf ramping us into it. I wonder. Well, we will throw away the Godless Shrine. Sure. This is a cool card. This is, oh my gosh. They are going ham on us. Oh my goodness. I guess we had this coming. This is an absolute trouncing. That's the right word. Oh my goodness. It almost feels like they have played more cards than we have available to us, to me. But that was a great draw. The Shelter by Ghost. What is this last? Exile any number? Okay, I gotta make sure I know what that is about. Summon Fenrir is going to be disappearing on the following turn. We're going to be able to get in for 5 and gain 6 because of Linden's life gain. They're down to 6. Hold up. When you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. They need to get rid of this Linden. If they don't, we put out the Enduring Tenacity and we swing in, we gain 1, then we life gain 5, potentially doing 6 points of damage here. But they do have, what, 2, 4, 6... Okay, that's a good card. It's a really good card. I still think I have to put the Tenacity onto the field. Man, that Lewis got them back into it. Oh my god, I love what the opponent's up to. What a cool Golgari deck. And these lands that they have. Goodness gracious, somebody's... I hate Strategic Betrayal. I hate it so much. The lands are cool though. Yeah, you attack in Jiminy. Jiminy. Summon Fenrir to follow it up, and I can't even attack with the Linden through the Summon Fenrir. Oh no. This is going so poorly. Okay. Well, we're both at the mercy of the top of our decks. What did they find? Please land. Okay. I mean, what do? I have to block. I have to block, right? So I block on that. I block on this. And I take damage and leave them with two very powerful creatures. Okay, Linden is going to gain us a little bit of life, so we need the top of our deck to be better than starting town. And we have to actually chump block with the Linden. Wow. Okay. What choice do we have? Linden, they get their Ouroboride back. We gain a little bit of life, but oh, they get the Deep Cavern back. They get to see our shame starting town. And oh, we get a Bloodthirty Conqueror that we can't even play out. All right. GG, opponent. At least we're losing to a cool deck. I love what was going on over there. Things just did not work out for our side of the field whatsoever. Bloodthirty Conqueror, what are you doing, you useless piece of garbage? All right, 2 more games with these weird deck, and again, we're gonna hope that we see the cool thing. This is not a good hand. Throw that away. Looks a little bit better. What do we get rid of, though? Unfortunately, we get rid of the Tenacity, right? Real shame that that's the card I have to throw away. Oh, my God. Imagine drawing 3 starting lands, starting towns. Okie doke. I guess we're paying for the luck that we had in those earlier games. Okay, opponent a little bit slow. 2 Godless Shrines. I guess we'll play out the Essence Channeler. And why wouldn't you? And Leonin Vanguard. Sure, next turn we can go out with our Linden, attack in. This Essence Channeler is going to get pretty big, but you got to imagine they're playing Orzhov. They're going to have the removal they need exactly for our... They have double removal? Oh. And we're sitting here with the Linden and lands. Nothing but lands. As far as the eye can see, lands. Alright, maybe... Yeah, this deck is showing its true colors now when we run into people playing real cards. Nurturing Pixie to pick up the Momentum Breaker that they can play immediately out. We're going to see one more draw. I'm not going to drag this one out because Orzhov Bounce is absolutely going to dismantle us if we draw any more lands. And even... I mean, Healer's Hawk is just bad. It's just bad, right? I'll see one more draw. If we end up finding like the Starscape Cleric into the Bloodthirty Conqueror, we could possibly see like the combo kill out of kind of nowhere. So, and the opponent does have quite, you know, they don't have a very fast clock on us, so we can hang around for a bit. What do you take? Healer's Hawk? One of them take the Healer's Hawk. Leon Vanguard, not good enough. We may as well put all of our cards onto the field though. And I'm gonna give it one more draw. I don't want to drag this out. You know what? They're gonna trade with the Healer's Hawk and put out the Momentum Breaker. So hands off. We're good. We lose that one. That was brutal. We got dismantled again. All the effort that we went through, and we're gonna fall right back down. All right, our 7th and final game against Vat Brew. Hopefully they're playing something cool and creative. We get to go first. Hey, look at that. We get to see both of the creatures that we won. Okay. So there might be something here. I'm a hopeful boy. Let's be polite and say hello. Maybe we get a really good game 7. Imagine that. All right. Essence Channeler to the field. Gain a little bit of life. Do a little bit of damage. They are playing blue, though, so we're going to have to be aware of counter magic. Are they playing blue tempo? Kind of feels that way. All right, let's do the Halia. They do have their counter magic available. Ooh. Okay, so this gains us a little bit of life. It's not going to gain us all the way up to 3 for the Halia draw. This needs to land. Instead, it's a Flood Pitch Drowner. I can deal with that, because the thing I wanted more than anything was the Halia to draw me a card. Throw out the Godless Shrine, not attack in with the Sanctifier because we want the draw more, and we do get a land. So now, am I going to want to put the Starscape Cleric onto the field as a 2, just as a 2, or do I wait and put it out as an offspring card? Since they are playing blue, I think I'm gonna go this way. I'm assuming they have a Into the Flood Maw, is what I think that 1 mana available open to them is. So we're gonna try to bait that Into the Flood Maw out. It's a Spectral Sailor instead. So next turn, if we can get an open opportunity to throw out the Bloodthirty Conqueror, so I'm not brave enough to do it. This might just be the cat, though. They must have a counterspell. They're debating it. Oh, they let it through. So maybe they will counter this Essence Channel. We're trying to bait out whatever they have. And I'm not attacking in with the Hinterland Sanctifiers because I do believe they could possibly have the 4/3 cat, the Flash Cat. I can't remember what it's called. The one that allows them to draw cards. But we are just draining them down. Draining them down. Do I want to get in? Do I think they could have a flyer? If they had another Spectral Sailor, them throwing it in front of the Starscape Cleric would be just horrible for us. So I'm okay just going this way. They had a Fabloom Trick. It's possible that we had an opening there. Please use your mana. Why do we have to have the combo against the tempo deck? Annoying. Okay. We don't have a way of making the Essence Channeler fly yet. Oh, do you just slam it and hope it works out? No. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Let's go. Bat Brew. Let it happen. Let it happen. They could bounce the Starscape if... Maybe they don't know what's happening to them. Oh, you rude little boy. Wow. Neutering. Absolutely neutering my poor Starscape Cleric. Let's attack relatively heavily. So they put a 1/1, the 1/1. No, I don't want to throw away my Sanctifiers, I don't think. But this, do I really want to throw away my Halia? I want to bait them into blocking with the Tidebinder because that unlocks the Starscape. No, I want to draw a card. So if I get rid of the Tidebinder for the next turn with the Sheltered by Ghost, I believe that will give my Starscape Cleric life once again, and then I will be able to start doing the drain thing. So Sheltered by Ghost with the Healer's Hawk will start the chain. Good game. Okay. Unfortunately, the opponent didn't let us do the combo, but hey, it's kind of right there. We were close. Taking down blue tempo is great. All right, so this little experiment of mine, I don't think it really works. I think you probably just want to go more heavily into your more traditional life gain deck. You know what might be kind of cool though is leaving the Starscape Cleric in the deck. I was actually quite impressed with this card. I think there is a little bit of room in the typical mono white life gain deck to splash Orzhov colors. Orzhov mana right now is fantastic. You have your Verges, you have your fast land, you have your shock land, and you of course play the starting town because it has really good synergy with the Essence Channeler, and you don't really care about taking damage. So the mana base is great. Maybe you just cut these 2 cards. You cut out the Enduring Tenacity, you cut out the Bloodthirty Conqueror because it's 5 mana, it doesn't really work, and then you go maybe 2 more Ajanis, you throw in maybe like the life duo. What are they called? The bat, that's something duo. Life Creed duo, you throw that card in, or there is the other 1 CMC Lifegain bat that I think you could probably put in that would be just fine. Is it not Lifegain, Life Link? What am I doing? This guy, Runelurker bat, we saw it in some of the games that we went up against Mono White playing it. So I think there is room. But if you want to play something a little bit cheeky, a little bit fun, you know, sometimes you do get the Bloodthirsty Conquerors combo off. When this does happen, it is awfully fun. So, hey, it is a thing. I think you could try it out if you are eager to play around with the Bloodthirsty Conqueror. But for now, I don't really know what to do with this card. I have tried another deck just to show you. It doesn't even have a name yet because I've been just messing around with it. This was more leaning into always winning with the combo with the Bloodthirsty Conqueror. Of course, we have 4 copies of all of the combo cards in this case, and then we are playing cards that start the combo. So Authority by Consuls kind of starts the combo, but Case of the Uneaten Feast on the field means when you throw out your Bloodthirsty Conqueror, you gain 1 life, and if you have the Cleric on the field, it starts a chain reaction. Same thing with the Halia. Halia, you can warp her onto the field if you are trying to put out a Bloodthirsty Conqueror. If you have 6 mana, it allows you to start the combo. Deep Cavern Bat gives you disruption and also a little bit of lifelink. So this one it's kind of neat. The deck is definitely more all in on doing the combo thing, and it does the combo thing more reliably than the deck that I featured today. If you want to see me make a video on this deck, do let me know down in the comments. If there are enough people that say, hey, yeah, play that deck, I want to see how it plays out, I will do that. If nobody cares, though, we're not going to bother because I'm kind of over playing the Bloodthirsty Conqueror. It is a cool card, but it is very much I don't want to call it a meme, but it's a silly card. Anyways, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed seeing something a little bit different out of Lifegain. Enjoy your weekend. Take care, and sarange ipuna. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.